This is the Renegade Teacher blasting out with another transmission. In parentheses, Tittert Bowat. Folks, I'm very excited to have you on board with me tonight for another rant. I'm very happy to be in range and ready to rumble. Folks, I want to open up tonight with an update, perhaps on a previous video. I wanted to address something that caught me by surprise in a huge way. This actually happened shortly after I published my video a few weeks ago, called, I believe, the Education Master's Degree Scam, based on an article with the same name, that was published in the Washington Monthly by Grace. I'm just going to go for the last name this time. I believe it's Grace Jedi, G-E-D-Y-E. If not Jedi, it should be pronounced that way. But this article, folks, shortly after I published the Education Master's Degree Scam video, was changed. The title was stripped. This was, in fact, I believe the same day that I published my video. The article was retitled, quote-unquote, Masters of None, which I thought was very interesting. It caught me by surprise, and I honestly had intended to come back and draw that to your attention. I thought, regardless of whether or not it was a justified change, it was made, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the author was responsible for that or not. I sure don't think so. My best guess would be that the author and the publication, Washington Monthly, caught a lot of flack for the use of the word scam in their title. However, I want to come out in strong defense against this kind of censorship, if this is indeed what's happened. It's very disappointing. If you look up the definition of a scam, it is a dishonest scheme, or a fraud. And if you look at the state of the situation with master's degrees being pursued in the name of increasing teacher quality, when everyone under the sun knows it's actually being done to fix teacher pay, it's completely disgusting. The whole system is a scam, and I'm not backing down from that. I'm with Tom Petty on this one, folks. It is a scam being perpetuated by people with a lot of power and a lot of money and a lot of lobbying power, and it's disgusting. So I wanted to give you that update before diving into the main topic for tonight. I actually came across an article that got me kind of fired up for you tonight, called "Let's Give It a Rest with the STEAM Thing." Again, STEAM here referring to the science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics movement that started out as STEM. This article was written by Brett Yates on November 6th, 2019, on starrevenue.com. And I've pulled a few excerpts to share with you. I thought that were worth reading to you and discussing, perhaps. Brett Yates here, the author, clearly has his thumb on the pulse of some truth. So I'm going to read this part first. It says, "There is always tension in America's education system between the liberal arts and workforce development. And workforce development is always winning. Which is to say that there are always plenty of people who, surveying the dismal state of the world, decide that the real problem is that we aren't doing a good enough job training our children to be of service to this dismal world. This idea, in some cases, comes from a place of real concern, a conviction that in an economic system that generates massive human suffering as an inevitability, The task of our schools must be to create young people so skilled, so useful, that they'll never become its victims. But of course, someone must be. In other words, kids, go into STEM whether you like it or not. And I thought that's the first excerpt that I chose for you. I thought that was a very interesting take on this very large problem. This author clearly gets it in terms of the overselling of STEM or STEAM or whatever the hell you want to call it. I'll continue here with my excerpts before I give too much of my take on it. He goes on to say, and this is toward the end of the article, but in my opinion, some of the best of it. It says, I'm in no way against science, technology, engineering, art, or math. What I'm against is the anxiety that in many places drives the STEAM movement. Like STEM, it regards education as a means to prepare children for the quote-unquote economy of the future, a fast-paced, demanding place where only the strong will survive, and philosophers presumably will not. And as STEAM bends the arts toward the same pragmatic mindset. It may be worth remembering that the greatest problems facing the 21st century are not technical, but political. You can say that again. I'm going to continue here. This is the last paragraph that I'll read. He says in closing, in my view, the engineering courses can probably wait till college. In parentheses, he said, my dad's an engineering professor. It looks hard. And it might be helpful in the meantime to read some fiction and history, but I'm not a teacher and I have no strong prescriptions for curriculum. My only layman prescription is one of attitude. Yes, we all want our kids to be employable, but at least please relax a little bit, enough to believe that we can afford a moment or two for real art amid our daily mandated training in Photoshop and Final Cut Pro. Folks, this author is on to it in terms of realizing that our students, regardless of the credentials we cause them to get, regardless of the technical training that we give them, the system has lost sight of how useful all this technical training is without the fundamental ability to interact appropriately with people and have face-to-face interactions with peers in a way where there's not physical and emotional abuse happening. We've detached ourselves so far, folks. This is so sad. This is so incredibly sad. STEAM epitomizes how the system is missing the point. I curiously had not talked about the STEM or STEAM movement. But folks, I'll tell you what, more moving parts in the system, adding new committees and adding new domains of different ways of doing things. All these moving parts are only making the problem worse. They're not helping with the core issues that we try to underline on this channel, to draw to the forefront, to be honest about. We cannot continue on this path. But I'll tell you this, I committed a huge mistake, apparently, by opening up another website. And I think I was nearly brought to tears. The website is called alleducationschools.com, but they have a section called Resources for Current and Future STEAM Educators. And folks, I'll tell you what, if you want to know how bad of a situation we're in, take a look at this website, find the section I'm talking about. It is a cornucopia of incredible the worst jargon you can imagine. It's terribly depressing how far detached this is in terms of not solving any problems that we face as educators or as citizens of the world. I want to read just a couple of the sections in here and urge you to wake up if you've bought into this STEM thing. Folks, it's so tragic. This makes me so mad, so incredibly pissed off that we've gotten this far from reality. It's so sad. The author I talked about earlier, give me just a moment here, folks. I have to collect my blood pressure, bring it back in here a little bit. Brett Yates, that wrote the article, Let's Give It a Rest with the STEAM thing. He's so onto it in terms of why this can't work. We have freshmen and we have 8th graders and 7th graders attending college courses, folks. This is a red alert situation. According to this website, what is STEAM education? This is, I don't even know if I can bring myself to read this. It makes me want to vomit. It has a section on the difference between STEM and STEAM. This is obviously so for profit in so many ways. It says here in this section, STEAM has received some pushback in the academic and career world. Opponents believe that adding in the arts takes away from the STEAM education. However, the STEM education. However, STEAM aims to strengthen the foundation of STEM by helping students enhance their critical thinking skills and recognize the intersection of art, science, tech, blah, 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 blah. Give me a damn break here, people. Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. This is so ridiculous. These people that wrote this most likely don't even understand what the hell critical thinking means, or else they wouldn't be using it in this context, because the very fact that this website has to spend about 20,000 words to explain what this STEAM crap is, demonstrates the biggest lack of critical thinking skills that I have ever seen demonstrated by anybody on Earth. Folks, this is so horrible. It's so horrible. This is so bad. How to become a STEM teacher. Why earn your master's degree? I can't take it anymore, folks. I can't take it. This is enough to make me want to drive to my Aunt Ruth's house and walk into her kitchen without permission and grab her cookie jar and devour one of her homemade oatmeal cookies. And folks, I'm sorry, Aunt Ruth, you're a terrible damn cook. And I would just gobble. It makes me want to gobble down multiple homemade oatmeal cookies, made by my Aunt Ruth. Folks, this is unbelievable. STEAM, this lack of critical. How dare them bring up critical thinking? STEAM this is unreal. I can't do it. This has caused me to ruin, folks, this has caused me to ruin my relationship with my aunt. This is beyond anything I've ever seen. It just goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. STEAM certification, the future of STEAM education. We have students that don't know how to be human. All of their input is being dictated by this terrible situation, folks. Anything that they're retaining it because their dopamine is being activated so often that by the time any educator has a chance to try to get any content across to them or allow them to discover that content, they're so checked out, they're so mentally checked out. Half of them are taking micro naps throughout the day. Look it up, it's a thing, micro naps. People sleep while they're awake. There's no way they can process the information. Most of our students are clinically sleep deprived zombies. It's not necessarily their fault. Society is endorsing this behavior. Schools should have banned smartphones a decade ago, before they were even a thing. It should have been a preventative measure, and I am going to need a blood pressure cuff. I'm going to need a blood pressure cuff. I'm going to need to brace for the blowback from my Aunt Ruth over the oatmeal cookie comments. I'm done, folks. This whole STEAM movement is verification that we need a system-wide reboot. We can't take it anymore. We can't take this anymore. We are pushing students, and we're failing to develop or foster any kind of growth in them that makes them a human being, and makes them understand how harmony can come from chaos, and to make them understand what happens in the meadow at sunset, and why that which happens in that meadow at sunset is also what makes the nuclear reactors run, fish breathe underwater, and me to scream, unnecessarily about my Aunt Ruth's baking skills. It's all tied together, folks. The art, the science, it's all in the yin-yang. If we can't find some way to bring humanity and realism and true critical thinking skills, questioning the assumptions, the things that we've done forever without questioning them, and the things that we're doing now new and not questioning them, it's over. It's game over if we don't wake the hell up, start bringing people out of the deep sleep, forcing them, if need be, to take the red pill. This is unbelievable. I'm gonna have to wrap up the rant for tonight, put on a cuff, and figure out how to refocus for the rest of the week. Folks, I'm glad that you joined me tonight. If you are enjoying the content on the channel, please show some support. Subscribe, officially become a renegade, like the video, share something, and I will check out for now and see you next time. As always, stay safe. This is the Renegade Teacher, checking out.